Welcome again to Monday Night in Prophecy. This is for the month of September, and I already mentioned in the first part as an introduction that we are now going day to day, starting with Friday the 1st of September, going through the entire month. Welcome again. Thank you for tuning in, and we start with Friday the 1st of September. A 6.9 magnitude earthquake hits Bali Sea, Indonesia. Fortunately, it's not heavily populated. There was not a lot of damage, but nevertheless, a 6.9, that is a very powerful earthquake. Saturday the 2nd of September, the Pentagon launches to the public a website with information about UFO. I have referred to that in the first part too. The Pentagon has established a website that will inform the public on the subject, and soon the public will also be given the opportunity to report encounters with the UFOs through the website. So this is set up by the Pentagon, the military. They are the ones that are in charge of that. And you can see how serious they are about that. Oh, there is this those people out there, or those creatures out there that want to contact us. Really? Yeah, they're called demons. And that will be the excuse for the rapture, I believe. Time will tell, right? Sunday the 3rd of September. Israel to procure 25 more F-35 fighter jets for $3 billion. At the completion of the deal, Israel would have 75 of the advanced jets to make up 3 squadrons. Those are excellent planes. Israel is putting their own technology, and which is superior to the American stuff that we put in. And with that, they have the best Air Force in the world. Monday the 4th of September. A rare find in Jerusalem. I'd like you to watch what that find is. It's quite amazing.
שלום אלי.
שלום רעות.
אנחנו נמצאים בגן לאומי עמק צורים, בסינון העפר מחפירות עיר דוד וירושלים הקדומה, ואתה מחזיק עכשיו ביד ממצא שהתגלה ממש לאחרונה כאן בסינון העפר, מחפירות עיר דוד.
כן, אנחנו מחזיקים פה בטביעת חותם בולה ששימשה לחתימת מסמכים בתקופת בית ראשון. אנחנו מדברים פה על המאה השביעית לפני הספירה, תקופת ממלכת יהודה. אנחנו מדברים על חפץ שנמצא בחפירות של עיר דוד, מתחת לקשת רובינסון. יש על הבול הזו כתובת, והכתובת היא לאדוניהו אשר על הבית.
מה המשמעות של התפקיד הזה, אשר על הבית?
אשר על הבית זה השר הבכיר ביותר בממלכת יהודה. זה השר הכי מקורב למלך.
גם השם אדוניהו הוא שם מעניין, נכון? זה שם שמופיע בתנ"ך.
כן, הוא מופיע בקשר ל3 דמויות שאנחנו מכירים בתנ"ך. המפורסם ביותר זה אדוניהו, הבן של דוד. ואנחנו
יודעים שלפני 150 שנה מתגלה כתובת ממש דומה לכתובת הזו במערת קבורה בהר הזיתים.
כן, אנחנו מדברים על כתובת מהמאה השביעית לפני הספירה. בכתובת כתוב יראו. כלומר, אין לנו את כל השם שנקבע, הוא נמחק, נהרס, אבל אנחנו מכירים שהתואר שלו היה אשר על הבית. ואשר על הבית זה התואר של אדוניהו, אשר על הבית. כאשר אנחנו מדברים על אותה תקופה, על המאה השביעית לפני הספירה, האם זה האדם שנקבר בקבר הזה, אנחנו לא יודעים.
אבל זו אותה תקופה, אותו מרחב?
זה אותה תקופה, אותה מרחב, אותו אזור, ירושלים, תקופת בית ראשון, מאה השביעית לפני הספירה, סימן שאלה.
תתאר לי מה זה עושה לך עכשיו כשאתה מחזיק כזה ממצא ביד?
אחרי 2600 שנה, אתה בא ומחזיק את הבולה הזו ששימשה חתימת מכתב שנשלח לפני 2600 שנה על ידי השר הבכיר ביותר בממלכה. זה משהו מדהים, מחסיר פעימה בלב.
Let's go on to Friday the 8th. The birth pains continue. Catastrophic earthquake in Morocco. As of today, there are over 2,000 deaths. Let's go ahead and watch a little bit of this earthquake, and people go about their daily business. As you can see, people are walking around, and then suddenly they start to run. What happened? Well, a strong earthquake. You can see it on the door to the right there. And then suddenly it starts to collapse. And you can't really see a whole lot, but building after building after building collapsed. And because they're built so poorly. And here you see a restaurant situation, and people rush out of the restaurant because of the earthquake. Let's go on to Saturday the 9th. Another catastrophe. Greece, after the largest fire in Europe, has now one of the largest floods it ever had. Just unbelievable. Watch what the Guardian is showing us here. Sunday the 10th of September. AI, again, artificial intelligence, is replacing pastors in Roman Catholic churches in Germany. They write the sermons and conduct the services. Really? AI? Yes, it's happening. Watch.
In the house of God, everyone is welcome with open arms, even robots. Like it or loathe it, ChatGPT is part of society and now part of the congregation. As Germany's churches experience a drop in numbers of pastors, this church in the Bavarian town of Fürth has the answer by using artificial intelligence. During service, this avatar preached to more than 300 people for Mass. But can we really commune with robots?
I was pleasantly surprised at how well it worked, but one thing I definitely missed, of course, was simply emotionality.
It was exciting, interesting, but for me it was too monotonous. The avatar spoke too quickly. Sometimes you couldn't really think in your head during the service. It wasn't personal enough.
So, in this church, worshippers are no longer inspired by the words of a preacher. And while some may say this is sacrilegious, the theologian behind it insists this is the future of worship.
I would say 98% comes from the machine, generally speaking. And what we're going to see is an effort of us as human beings staying out of the church service.
The 40-minute service saw the bot writing the sermon, prayers, and even accompanying music. Intrigued and filled with anticipation, churchgoers queued for an hour to get front pew seats and find out just how it works.
I told the artificial intelligence, we are at the church congress, you are a preacher. And the motto is, now is the time. What would a church service look like? And then it spits out a rough framework first. And then you say, okay, now why don't you do this introduction? And then she writes this introduction. And that goes on and on. You end up with a pretty solid church service, I would say.
Whether you're a believer or not, the use of AI arguably brings services into the 21st century, allowing them to become more accessible and inclusive. But there's certainly no doubt it takes practice what you preach to a whole new level. Shadi Edwards-Dashley, TRT World.
Unbelievable. Monday the 11th, Israeli Defense Minister Yoav Gallant on Monday disclosed that Iran was building an airport in southern Lebanon, a mere 20 kilometers, 12 miles, from the Israeli border, with the aim of using it as a launch pad for terrorist attacks against Israel. So Israel found out about this land strip, and we'll see it later on again in this program. Tuesday the 12th of September, catastrophic floods in Libya. 6,000 plus are dead, plus 20,000 are missing. Again, watch this horrible scene that we see here with this helicopter picking up dead bodies.
عاجل ولا يرحم. الله يرحمكم أجمعين.
هذا السد كان هناك سد. ثم بعد طبعا هذا إعصار كبير وفيضان دمر المنطقة هذه بالكامل، أرزاقها راحت وسيارتها راحت وقاعدين في الشارع من امبارح نحن راحت.
Horrible. Wednesday the 13th. Airstrikes on Syria's western coast killed 3 soldiers Wednesday, according to a report by the Syrian Observatory of Human Rights. Explosions were reported near a Syrian naval facility in Tartus in an apparent Israeli airstrike. In addition to servicing the Assad regime, the Tartus base is used by the Russian military. Oh, that's the reason why I included that, because those other airstrikes happen almost every day now. But this one here is actually used by the Russians as well, and that is stepping on the toes of the Russians. Remember the Ezekiel wars that is coming? It leads up to it. It's the riches of Israel, but also those kind of things that irritate Russia, that one day they will say, together with Iran and Turkey and a couple other nations, that's what the Bible tells us in Ezekiel, that they will go ahead and come down on Israel. Israel will win that war, but under tremendous, catastrophic circumstances, where so much of it is destroyed and so many will be killed. Thursday the 14th. Watch Sam Smith and Kim Petras perform a piece that is called Unholy. That's at the Grammys. And I'm going to just show you a very brief picture of that video, because it's so sexual and so bad that I'm just not going to show you a lot. But anyways, here's a tiny clip of that. This is going on. Unholy is...
We go, he left his kids at home. We go, so we can get back, mommy.
Unbelievable. So here's the other part of this airport. Friday the 15th, Israeli Defense Minister Gallant. Iran is building an airport for terrorist purposes 20 kilometers from Israel inside Lebanon, from where Iran plans to carry out attacks against Israel. So understand that Hezbollah is nothing but an arm of Iran. Iran uses Hezbollah to attack Israel in the future. And so they are building this airport there close to the border. You know, I want to bet that that airport will be destroyed by Israel at the next convenient occasion. And there will be no more airport that close that will be used for military against Israel. Just a guess. Saturday the 16th, California's State Assembly just passed a bill that allows the authorities, listen to that, to take your child, no matter their age, if they don't affirm their gender choice, which is now considered essential need for a child. This is a continuation of a campaign to make words an act of violence. This already began when some states approved legislation suggesting that addressing someone with the wrong pronoun is considered a hate crime. This is from Amir, and this is what's happening. So you live in California, and you say to your child, you know, the child says, oh, I think maybe today I want to be a boy. And you say, come on, stop this nonsense. Oh, now the child can be taken away from the parents. Horrible parents, what they're doing to their children. That's happening. Isn't it incredible? It sure is. Sunday the 17th. Rockets were fired from Israeli F-16 from the coast of Lebanon all the way to Syria. The two waves, Israeli strikes on Syria yesterday, destroyed a delivery of precision missiles from Iran to Hezbollah that was aimed to be transported to Lebanon. So what's happening there is those constant deliveries from Iran by plane, by truck, through Syria into Lebanon with war material, especially those precision missiles that will plan to hit Israeli cities. And so some of them are caught by Israelis, unfortunately not all of them, and then Israel goes ahead and destroys those missiles that come out of Iran. So Hezbollah plays right into the hand and wants Israel dead, just like Iran does. Update on the Libya floods. 11,000 people were killed in the flood disaster caused by the storm Daniel. About 20,000 are missing. About 2,000 bodies were swept into the sea. Horrible situation. Monday the 18th. Major catastrophes around the world. In the week of September 10 to 16, catastrophic floods happen in Oman, Guatemala, Mexico, Hong Kong, Greece, Spain, India, Brazil, Bulgaria, Turkey, and more. Unbelievable. What's happening? Oh, it's global warming, right? No, I think it is birth pains. Tuesday the 19th. Chinese Communist Party influence rampant in America's classrooms. Over 500 K-12 schools across the United States have allowed the CCP, the Communist Chinese, to establish itself in their halls. When you pull back the curtain on these cultural exchange centers, you find a Chinese-backed agenda that undermines the principles upon which our education system is built. That's what's happening in our school system. The Chinese at every level are sneaking in and trying to take over. Their plan, take over the world. That's their plan. Wednesday the 20th of September. Israel unveils IDF, now AI-powered Barak super tank. The new tank has been in development and production for more than 5 years. The tank is designed to monitor its surroundings and process and present the information to the soldiers. So it's so high-tech, this new Barak tank, that it can see all the way around, see what's happening all the way around, and then pass on this information for action to the soldiers. Just an incredible a brand new production that the Israelis came up with. Thursday, 21st of September. Tunisia hints that Israel is behind devastating storm Daniel due to Zionist name. How crazy can you get? You can't make that up. The massive storm that devastated Libya's Derna is somehow linked to Zionism because it was named Daniel. According to Tunisian President Kais Saied, he needs his head examined. Derna has been devastated by the storm and floods. A quarter of the city is believed to be destroyed, the report said. So yes, there was this incredible destruction. Israel is behind it? Really? They can now start destructions and floods and winds and earthquakes? So ridiculous. And yet, in the mind of many Muslims, it's all the fault of the Israelis. Isn't that something, back in the Nazi days, that's exactly what they said? It's all the Jewish faults. The Jews are the fault of the whole world, what's happening, all the bad stuff and the wars and everything that's going on. The Jews, so let's go rid of them, let's kill them. That's what they said. And here, they're saying it again. Friday, the 22nd. Amir Tsofati gives this report. In my opinion, the exponential interest and publication regarding the topic of UFOs and extracelestial entities is to serve one purpose only, to condition the world to not be surprised, but rather be indifferent to the soon rapture of the saints. And I agree with that. They have all those sightings. Every point that you see on the map is a sighting. And so he's saying, get used to it, because when all those people, millions all around the world disappear, how do you explain that? Oh, yes, those are the Martians or the aliens from wherever they come. So get used to it. Amazing, isn't it? Saturday, the 23rd of September. Look at the earthquakes on one day. One day, not reported, but this is what happened. 6.3 magnitude earthquake in Japan. 6.3 earthquake in Taiwan. 5.1 earthquake in Italy. 5.1 earthquake in Georgia, Australia. I didn't know there was a Georgia in Australia, but it is. A 4.9 earthquake on the Philippines. A 4.8 earthquake in Russia. All those earthquakes, maybe not so destructive as some of them. That's when they report it, if they're hugely destructive. But they're going on, and they are on the increase, and that is one of the signs that the Bible, Jesus, gave to us, earthquakes. So watch out for those. Sunday the 24th. Thousands of Eritrean Christians have been imprisoned without charge since 2002. Some are held in underground cells and others are locked in metal shipping containers. Can you imagine? Despite fierce government opposition, followers of Christ in Eritrea have not been silenced. So it's a Muslim country. It's in Africa. You see it on the picture to the left. You see where it's at there, right close, just above the Horn of Africa. And then on the right, you see a close-up. It's right on the Red Sea. And that's where all those atrocities are happening right now. Horrible things. Pray for the Eritrean Christians. Monday the 25th. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu told the UN General Assembly on Friday that Israel is at the cusp of a historic breakthrough leading to a peace agreement with Saudi Arabia. There are several hurdles in the ways of such an agreement, including the Saudis' demand for progress in the creation of a Palestinian state. It keeps going back to that and back to that. But knowing Netanyahu, he will figure out how to deal with that. Because the bottom line is that the Palestinians are not interested in a two-state solution. They want a one-state solution and all the Israelis out. And of course that will never happen. And even the Saudis will agree that that will never happen and shouldn't happen. Tuesday the 26th. Trending towards a cashless society, 100 nations exploring digital currencies. At the recent WEF event, economist Ezra Prasad bragged about how digital currency can be used to, listen to that, limit your purchases of whatever bureaucrats happen not to like. That's where this is headed, and they're not even hiding it. And so they will decide how much you will be able to buy or sell or have, what car, what food, where to travel. You know, this idea of 15-minute cities. You can only travel 15 minutes in any direction on a given day. And stuff like that can all be enforced and will be enforced by intelligence that is created and will be through the computer and will be enforced by bureaucrats. That's coming, and we can see already the beginning of it. Wednesday the 27th. Hundreds of people who identify as dogs gather in the city center of Berlin, of all places. Howling and barking. Animal control was called. An estimated 1,000 people who prefer to be recognized as not humans, but canines, organized a gathering at the Berlin-Potsdamer Platz railroad station in Germany, communicating only by howling or barking at one another. How ridiculous is it gonna get?
Such a thing.
That's why the Israeli company Neomare created the Lifesaver. It's this small, lightweight Israeli technology that takes 1 second to put on, and by using this before you hop in the sea, this could save your life. It's a big promise from a small wristband. So to find out exactly how the technology works, I-24 News went to the lab.
And we needed something that was going to be light, easy to wear, and that everyone's going to wear it and not even feel it. And then we started thinking about how to do it chemically.
Press the button on the wristband and a chemical reaction happens, in turn inflating a personal flotation device, or for our lab demonstration, a balloon.
We're able to inflate a very, very big buoy of like 8 liters from 8 grams.
An 8-liter large flotation device, all from an item that fits in the palm of your hand. It's the thin, wearable design that Neomare believes sets them apart from the competition. While the design is still being lab tested, Neomare has already secured a patent and proof of concept that their technology works, hopefully hitting the market by September 2024, with the goal of 0 drowning deaths by 2025 in Israel and around the world.
All of those things are happening right in front of our eyes. I want to remind you of Matthew 24, where we read, "See to it that you're not alarmed." That's Jesus talking. Such things must happen, but the end is still to come. And the good news for you and for me as Christians is that we will not be around for the end, the 7 years, that we will be raptured, that we will be gone before Antichrist appears. I believe that the pre-tribulation rapture is the correct one of the 3. You know, there is the pre, the mid, the post. Either way, we will be raptured. We will be with the Lord forevermore. We will join with the believers. Not only the believers that are alive now, but the believers of all ages. Your parents or grandparents, if they were believers, if they trusted the Lord, if they were born again, they will all be there because Jesus will come with them, the Bible tells us. What a meeting in the air that will be. Incredible. And you and I, we are part of that. Praise the Lord. You know, as we watch all those catastrophes, I can't say, did you enjoy this? This is not for enjoyment, this is for knowledge. That, like Jesus said to the Pharisees and Sadducees, don't you know? Don't you see? Can't you see around and see what's happening? Why do you think this is happening now? And he calls it the birth pains. Those birth pains are real. They're here. I believe we will see stronger and stronger, more and more, and then the rapture will happen. Now the rapture, all those birth pains are actually for the second coming. They are supposed to be a warning for the second coming. So if they are already now starting 7 years earlier, can you imagine how close we are to the rapture? No, we cannot set a date. We don't know. Jesus knows. God knows. And when Jesus was on earth, not even Jesus knew, he said. God alone. I believe now in heaven he knows. He gave up all those things when he came down to earth, remember? So Jesus in heaven is coming in the rapture. Rapture is the word that is used in Latin. It means in English snatched up, caught up. The Bible is clear about it. It's not an imagination. It's not wishful thinking. It is reality because the Bible says so. And you know, all those prophecies help me to reaffirm that the Bible is God's Word. How else can God know? How else can we know? How else can anybody know if it weren't written by prophets 2,000 years ago, 2,400, 600, and 700 years ago, and even older, that a day will come when Jesus comes back. That's the good news. Jesus will come back, and if you're saved, if you're born again, you're part of that crowd. So spread the word. Spread what the Bible is telling us. How to be saved. Make sure you are. Until we meet again, the Lord bless. Bye-bye.